7 empty seats. Where are you guys? We're waiting.
We only have 20 minutes.
Not even that by now.
Time is running out. Guys, we should really do something.
Agree on something. Make a decision.
90 minutes and 30 seconds, guys.
If we can't agree, there's no time left.
90 minutes now. Guys, time is running out.
It's not really good enough for a presentation at the GHF, is it? It's not really good enough for our futures, is it? But we want to talk to you today about what we want. We want to talk to you about the legacy that we are all leaving behind to future generations. And we want to talk to you about the clear alternatives that we believe there are, and you know there are, to just digging up the earth and converting it to pollution. Or we can all sit very comfortably in our seats and watch the clock tick by, just like we did, and just like pretty much most people have been doing since the 1950s, when this climate change issue was first spoken about. That's 60 years. That's my parents' entire lives, and that's, for quite a few of you, your entire lives. But we can't do it alone, and we can't do it separately from each other, whether we're talking across generations, across nations, across religions, or across species. We have to be imaginative. We have to be imaginative to think about what is actually humanly possible, rather than just make these excuses time and time again as to why these patterns of dominance and destruction are just so hard to break from. So that when we're your age, and when your children are your age, and when we might have our own children, that we actually have something to pass down to them. Because right now, on the 24th of June, 2009, I honestly don't know what I'm going to be able to pass down to my children when I have them. But let's try and give something to each other to be optimistic about. We want you to come on a journey with us, because we need your experience. And we kind of think you need a little something from us too. We think you need our energy, you need our enthusiasm, and you need our imagination. But to those in the older generations who are happy to continue to watch the clock tick by, and to those of the older generations who are happy to just leave behind their legacy of destruction, of pollution, of inequity, and of inaction, to those we say, if you're not willing to lead, then get out of the way, because we believe we are. Javier, do you want to tell everyone who we are?
Of course, Margot. So we are the representative of the people who attend the GH Forum last week. These young people come from 52 countries. There was some young people who attend this forum. So as young adults, we start recently to think, to look at solutions to resolve environmental problems. Certainly, we haven't had as much time as you have had. We had only 3 days to work our ideas. But we were able to work together and work together to agree in ways of improving not only 1 or 2, but 5 projects. I was asking me what you people are doing when you were young. Usually people say young adults are naive. But who is naive? The ones who believe it is possible to do it in different ways, or those who continue to make excuses why we can change. So, ladies and gentlemen, I could tell you a nice little story about the good and intelligent young adults that attend this forum, or about how motivated we are to do something, or even about how frustrated as the older generations in action. But we are not here for that. Instead, we want to share with you how we young adults see the world today in 2009. We want to invite you to join us. We want to invite you to move forward with us. To move forward instead of looking backwards.
I totally agree with you, Javier. Forward ever, backward never. Over the years, we have had a fixed mental attitude of predetermined situations. This form of inclination needs to shift, and we need to focus on the grassroots of climate change and not on the symptoms. We have been too comfortable in our cocoons, tucked away in a world whereby escalating emissions are rising day by day. Around the world, carbon dioxide is on the rise. The need to implement strategic policies is vital. We have problems and challenges that are escalating each and every day. The win-lose paradigm needs to change from a win-win paradigm, ladies and gentlemen. Unless we let go of the old ways, we can never move forward. If we are to combat these carbon dioxide emissions, the older generation, myself, and all of us need to come together and fight this tooth and nail. The leaders of nations and organizations need to understand one thing, that the future climatic policies need efficient and effective solutions. The kindergarten blame game needs to stop. It has led the ecosystem to major disasters. You need to understand that we need to stop allocating faults or locating scapegoats to this major issue. And we need to come together and be as one. Always remember that together we stand, divided we fall. Remember again that we need productive, long-lasting solutions that implement integrity, responsibility, and sensitivity. Shame on us. Shame on us for being so comfortable. Shame on us for showing that we are instigators of climate change. The time to act is now. The time for change is now. Walk the talk, talk the walk.
Peter, you talk about walk the talk. Talking about walk the talk, Peter, I heard 0.5% of the audience here came by bicycle. Thank you all. It's a huge thanks. Now I would like to request you to raise your hands if you have statistics on the effects of climate change. That's a very small population here. You have. I understand your obsession with numbers. But what we are here to tell you is that these numbers are not reflecting the ground realities. These numbers seems like the government are just creating a smoke screen. 20% for 2020, 30% for 2050. Doesn't make any sense to me, not to any of us common people on the ground. Even corporations are using it as a marketing gimmick. 2% for renewable energy, 8% for solar energy. No, this is not the ground reality. Stop looking at the 8% and start looking at the 92% and how we can change that 92% to being positive. I understand that, and we all know that pollution and population is rapidly changing the effects of climate change. But we are here to act and act now. So we want the Copenhagen to bring us results that the Kyoto didn't.